Hey guys, how you doing? This is your September reading from the 16th to the 23rd of September 2019. So remember, this won't resonate with everybody. Hopefully it will. If you're here, it probably will. Everything's just about energy. I am I'm adding a new deck of cards, rather, which is my Klimt Gustav cards. He's a painter from Austria, about 1870 to 1918. If you're familiar with his work, beautiful work. I mean, this is gorgeous. The interesting thing about these cards, though, is that most tarot cards pretty much they can be read the same way. Like, say, the Fool is read pretty much the same way throughout most decks. However, occasionally some decks, the cards are read in a little bit of a different way. So what I'm going to do, because I'm kind of learning these cards, because these cards are slightly read in a different way, I'm going to use these as clarifying cards for right now. And please be patient with me, because I'm going to also look at the little booklet occasionally with it, just to make sure that I've got the right meaning for it, because this deck is brand new to me. I don't normally read reverse cards either. The other deck, this one here, the Vision of the, what is this? The Los can't get that out. I will put the definition of the decks below. I'm sorry, I cannot talk today, which is not good because I am doing your readings. This deck is a little bit more of a classical version, and I don't read this upside down, any of these decks upside down. But I am going to do for this one, because I want to sort of expand my knowledge a little bit, so I hope you're going to be a little patient with me when I do this. And of course, everything is timestamped, so it should be very easy. Just need to go to your timestamp. And I am doing personal readings right now as well. Do a general reading, and I can also do per question. All of that is in my bio, plus my email, so where you can reach me. And there's a description of how that will be done if you decide to ask me for a personal reading. So I'm very excited about that. And well, let's get on with the reading, okay? So go right to your timestamp, and I will talk to you soon. Hello, Sagittarians. How are you? I'm doing something a little different than all the other signs, just for the fire signs. This is all a little new. As I told you, I will be developing and changing the program a little bit just to make the readings better. So since this is a new channel, I'll keep experimenting with it. So if you missed my intro, I'm adding a new deck. This is you'll see it in the bottom. It's the Gustav Klimt deck, which I just loved working with. It, unlike most decks, it's not, some of the cards are read slightly different, so I will be referring back to the book a little bit. And this deck I'm also reading in reverse as well. The other deck I'm not, just the reverse as well. So what I'm doing, and you'll see, is a line above. I've already folded out the cards. I figured this way, hopefully it'll be less time getting all done. And then the clarifiers will be right below them, and we'll still do the overall energy. So Sagittarian, this is your reading for September 16th to the 23rd for 2019. So right off the bat here, we have your underlying energy, which I love. This is the Ace of Swords. Now, this is beautiful. It's a brand new start. It's a victory. It's about truth. It's about justice. It's about new ideas, new beginnings, communication. But it's a new start, and we so love this. Love seeing the Ace of Swords, or any Ace of Swords, involved. So you have a lot of swords here too, I can see. So you have the these are the cards I'm working with, and then the clarifiers are below. You have the Knight of Swords, which again is about, like all swords, truth, justice, communication, justice, ideas, and he is rushing forward, rushing in. And then you have the Knight of Wands, which is the quickest energy of all, and he brings inspiration, he brings creativity. He's moving forward at an even more rapid pace than the Knight of Swords. So beautiful energies to have moving in right now. You have the High Priestess, which is usually about intuition, following your gut, basically. The subconscious, it could be secrets revealed, could be higher learning. And when I mean higher learning, it can't usually happens to be more in a spiritual way. You may be going through a spiritual awakening. The Queen of Chalices is all about her emotions, about keeping her emotions under control. She's got everything. She doesn't let her emotions get the better of her, because when we let the emotions get the better of us, we don't make logical decisions, and we make emotions that are too emotional. Now, that's not to say don't ever follow your heart, but when you're caught up in a situation, sometimes when it's sprung upon you or something really big has happened, sometimes it's good to step back first and then take it into consideration. Try to put the emotions under control so you can think logically. We have the Magician, which is all about manifestation. He's also like the Fool, which is beginning the new journey. He is 1, the Fool is 0 in the deck. But he has everything at his disposal to manifest what he wants. And then you have Judgment, and Judgment can be, if it was a sort of a legal case, or maybe you're looking for judgment, would be that you're getting the judgment that you deserve, that you need. Usually working, of course, in your favor. But it could also mean waking up to your potential. It could also mean getting a second try at something. And that's a beautiful card. And this is the second try. Once you get the second try, this is it. It doesn't happen again. So it is about, it has lots of these meanings here. And from what I can see here, the Knight of Swords, you have these beautiful rushing in kind of energies, these ideas, this inspiration to go forward. And then you're following your intuition as far as I can see. You've got your emotions under control, or at least you need to have your emotions under control. You have the Magician to make things happen, and I think you're awakening. I think you want judgment. I think you want things to turn in your favor, as more so than opposed to waking up to your true calling. I think this is more of like, you want judgment to work in your favor. So let's go down to the clarifying here, because remember, we got the Truth and Justice cards here. You have the Queen of Swords. Now, she is all about, courage. She is also sexually alluring in that, but she is about courage, about doing what she needs to do. She doesn't take any bullshit. BS. She gets to the heart of the matter, and she really, paired with the Queen of Cups here, she gets things done. She is doing things logically out of her mind, and she has the courage to go forth and do this. Right with the Knight of Swords here. So beautiful. It's like just echo each other. You have the Death card here, which is usually about rebirth and whatnot, but because it's in the reverse position, it can be fear or anxiety of some sort. Let me just go check my book, because again, this is a new deck that I'm working with here, and I want to make sure that I get the exact thing for this particular deck, or the meanings rather. Yeah. So fear, the unknown, unexpected events. But I'm feeling that you had this inspiration. I think you're just a little fearful that it might not go your way. I think you have what it takes to make this happen. You have the Magician. I think you're looking for the proper judgment. Let's go on here. You have with under the High Priestess, you have the Three of Swords, and this in the upright position is still the same thing. There was disappointment. There was heartbreak, and I think your intuition is leading you away from that, away from this heartbreak. whatever this was. These new inspirations and these new ideas, you're going forward with them. It's taking courage, and you're a little fearful. You're a little fearful because you don't know what to expect, but that's totally understandable. You have the Queen of Chalices here, but right underneath you have the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is like waiting for the harvest to come in. It's also could mean trips, that you're going to be taking a small trip or a large trip soon. It's also, let me just clarify, because their meaning for this one is slightly different. Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it could also mean new business, but that's the same thing as like waiting for your harvest to come in. It's a new project you may be working on. But it's interesting that it's paired with the Queen of Chalices here, the Queen of Cups. So I'm thinking maybe it's a trip. I'm thinking more if it's a trip. It could be a new business, but I think it's either a business or a new trip. And it could be a new business with this inspiration, fearful of starting something new. But you can handle it. You've got your emotions under control, and you've got the courage to do this. For whatever that you're moving away from this heartbreak, you know. Then right here, then you have, of course, the Magician, which I said, but underneath this, you have the Knight of Swords, which again is the Knight of Swords here, coming forward with courage and new ideas. And this is exactly what this Magician needed to go forward and to make this happen, this new venture or this new idea happen. So it's just really kind of echoing the same thing. Then you have the Judgment here. Now this is the Five of Pentacles. Now this one I'm going to be very careful with. It is in the reverse decision, and I'm sorry if I'm cutting off my face. It's problems at work, conflicts with relatives. So I think whatever this Judgment is maybe how your relatives are perceiving you or how you're being perceived at work. And you want to be judged fairly. You want things to work in your favor. And I see that you have the Magician card. You have this sword of truth, of victory coming in. I think you have a good chance of whatever this means for you about going forward. I mean, maybe you are taking a trip this coming week or soon, or maybe it is a new business that you're starting. I think it's going to be beautiful. You're moving away from this heartache, and I see it moving into a better position. Let's just get a little clarifier, because I want to clarify the Judgment card here for you a little bit more, like sort of the final outcome, which I don't normally do for this, but you know, like I said, we're experimenting, doing things differently. So can I have a final outcome? So we'll do the 3 cards. Yeah, there was conflict, family. Conflict, family, but the truth, again, you've got lots of swords here. Lots of swords. It was most likely conflict with family, and you want your Judgment. You want things to work in your favor. Because the 5 is a battlement or conflict. The guy here has won, but at what cost? It's also abuse of power. And this 10 is the family security card. And of course, you're the King of Swords, about this courage and knowing what he wants, the truth coming forward. You have lots of swords here, lots of truth, lots of communication going forward. So with the inspiration, don't be fearful. I see the fear, of course, is the death, and you're moving away from this disappointment. I feel that being the Magician, I think things are definitely going to work in your favor. I think you've got plenty of sword energy here that I'm just going to draw one more card. Universe can have one more clarity on this card for the Sagittarians. One more for clarity, please. Empress. Yeah. I think this is really going to work out for you, because the Empress is all about creativity, abundance, happiness, joy, fertility. She is balanced energy. She is everything that we would love to embody and become. And this is beautiful. I think whatever is going to happen here, I think the outcome is going to be pretty good for you, and I think it's going to work out. I would just say because I know you're a fire energy, you got to keep your emotions under control, okay? And this is, you've got to keep your emotions tight, because you've got, and use the logic. Use the logic, use the courage of the swords, use the truth of the swords. That's where you're going here. You don't see too many emotion cards here. There's not a lot of cups here. In fact, there's no cups here, except for the one that the chalice she's holding. Green cups, that's it, you got one. So it's really telling you to go with logic. Go with logic here. All right, I hope this works out for you, Sagittarians. Please leave a comment, let me know what's going on. Like, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you later. You have a good one. Ciao. Hi Aries, how are you doing? So I'm doing little things a little differently for the fire signs than I have for the other signs, so forth. If you missed my intro, I am adding a new deck, which you'll see it's the Klimt Gustav deck. It's my clarifying deck. Things are read slightly different with this particular deck, but it's such a beautiful deck and I had to have it. And I'm also reading some of these cards in reverse as well, only for this deck, not for the other. So let's begin, shall we? This is your reading for September 16th through the 23rd, 2019. All right, I've already laid out the cards. Here you go. Your overall energy is the Seven of Swords, which means either you're self-sabotaging yourself or someone's trying to get away with something. This could be betrayal. Someone's trying to sell you, a book of goods. They're moving out. They're not telling you the truth here. So let's see what this is. This is the overlying energy for the week. Don't particularly like that card. It's not a good card to have. No one wants to be deceived, or no one wants to, mess themselves up. So, you have the Tower. Again, the Tower is something that is just not fitting any longer. So sometimes the universe has to come in and change things. And unfortunately, there's the big Tower moments where like the universe comes in and something happens. Someone gets ill, you get ill, a job is lost, an accident happens, something that changes everything and to put us back on the right track, even though it may not seem like that at the time. Of course, it could be a soft Tower too, which you're also then coming to a conclusion, a realization that things aren't working the way they were and that you're going to change them. You're taking that effort to change things for yourself, which is a much milder Tower moment. It's more like an aha moment. Better to have the universe doing it for you. The Two of Pentacles is all about juggling, usually finances, but it can be juggling a variety of other things as well. You have the Four of Swords, which is usually about retreat or repose. Could be about reflection, could be about sickness. We have the Moon card, which is about fear, could be about anxiety, could be about secrets, the subconscious. So then we have right next to it the Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, which means you've been hard working at something, working along, working on a project or something, working on yourself perhaps. You have the Knight of Wands, which is the fastest knight in the deck, and he is full of inspiration. He is a got to go get him attitude. He's a mover. He's it's all about creativity and inspiration. So it looks like somebody with the Secret card. Let's go down to what we have here, and please be patient with me. This is a new deck, so just making sure we got it right. You have the Knave of Swords, which is again usually about communication or about something, ideas and what being moving forward. It's probably a person offering you communication, but it is in the reverse. So it could maybe information that did not get to you, that is not being spoke to you in truth. Hence why somebody's trying to get away with something. So if they are speaking, communicating with you, it's lies. And that's kind of where your Tower moment is here. I don't even need that. That's what this is. This is to me, is this the Tower moment is about someone not speaking truth and somebody trying to get away with something. Your Two of Cups here is balance again. You've got the balance here in the Pentacles, but but it is in reverse. So the Two of Cups can also be made a decision, could be about a romance, like it could be two people, two partners, a partnership, business-wise or romantic-wise. It could be balancing your energies. I'm going to get a little bit of clarification on this one because it is the Klimt card and it is upside down. So the Two of Cups, end of a feeling, dangerous passion, scandals. So yeah, something happened, and you're having whatever this Tower moment was, whatever truth wasn't spoke, is having you to balance now this situation out. It totally makes sense, unfortunately. It looks like you've been in a little bit of you should be in retreat or going into retreat. It could be maybe that you have to reflect about it because you have the Fool here. Now the Fool in this deck is a little bit different because the Fool upright in this one is lack of point of reference, loss of identity, confusion, which is not usually what the Fool represents in most decks. So yeah, I think that it's perfectly in there. I think you're reflecting on what has happened, this Tower moment, and yeah, you may be a bit confused about this, and so like again, having to juggle the whole situation out here. You have again the Fear go here, but then you have the Queen of Pentacles underneath her, and she's usually about stability. The Queen of Pentacles for this particular deck, upright, is inheritance, well pondering, judgments, safety. So I think you've got to move away from this fear and become, get into this safety mode here. Or this could be somebody helping you out, coming forward to help you out of this Tower moment. You've been working very hard, but you have below it for this is the Judgment. And the Judgment here is in reverse. So the Judgment, if it was a legal battle, it would mean that you would actually get your dues. But again, this is in reverse, and this is the Klimt deck, so it's a little slightly different. So bear with me here. The Judgment in this one, because it's underneath, difficulty, remorse, late intervention. It looks like you may have a little bit of problem with the work that you've been doing. It's whatever happened here with someone trying to get away with something, with not telling you the truth, it had to do with your work. It had to do with your work. And then you have the Knight of Wands, and underneath this is the Queen of Swords. Now she's all about courage and going forward. So I feel that whatever this Tower moment that happened to you, or maybe be happening to you right now, was, as far as I can tell, I mean, again, this is a general reading, but I'm going to read it as I see it, as the universe is telling me to read these cards, is that someone wasn't telling you the truth. They were trying to get away with something, whatever it may be. Probably in your work, it may have been a lover. I'm seeing that this is probably at work, probably a project you're working on, because I see you working hard at it. It could have been a romantic situation, because we do have to work at our romantic situations as well. But there was lies, and now you're trying to balance this, you're trying to reflect on it, you're trying to figure it all out, the insecurity. There may be someone helping you here to try to move back into this energy because of this murkiness that the moon has been causing. You need to sort of hopefully get a clarifier, and it looks like it's also having to do with your money, because this is a pentacle. And again, if it's work related, which it is, it's having to do with the money. You may be fear of, oh my God, someone hasn't given me all the information here. This project I'm working on is becoming a disaster. Will I get paid, etc. The thing is, though, in the very end of this, you have the Knight of Wands, which is moving forward with inspiration and new ideas, and the courage with the Queen of Swords here. I'm going to do some clarification at the very end of this, because the way this is just laid out, I just can't leave you in this particular realm just by itself. Okay, so can I have a clarifier for my dear Aries? Okay. Yeah. Looks like, yeah, it looks like there's going to be a new offer emotional stability, or you're looking for new emotional stability. And again, that could be with this job or project, or moving on from it. Because you have the Lovers, and it's almost like the deal that was made, you're coming back to yourself and realizing what's happening. Sort of, again, this is about balancing, and getting the justice that you deserve. You're looking for justice. Let me go, because it's just, it wasn't right what was happening. It was just one, whoops, not 3 more 5 cards. But the Sun card did come up. I have to say that, which is joy, and the universe has got your back, and it's going to be okay. But let me just pull another one. So one sort of flipped out. Oh, it's in reverse. It's because I got reverse on this one. Yeah, you're moving away from harder times. Yeah. You're moving away from the situation, which is exactly what you need. You're getting the inspiration to move and the courage to move on from this. But everything's going to be okay. It will, in the end, it will be a good thing. It'll work out. Yeah, someone was not just telling you the truth. I'm sorry, Aries, but this, and I'm assuming it's probably at work more so than a romantic relationship. But again, it could be that your partner lied to you, having an affair of some sort. Communication was not right. It's made you, it's up to your world and kind of spun it around a bit. But it looks like things will start getting back on track again. Just be courageous, go forward, do it. If this is a project you were working on, do your best to again juggle it and figure out where you can gracefully leave, or just leave, or move on to make new money and progress forward, because you have this night coming forward, getting back to yourself. And the Justice card, I feel like you're going to get justice in the end, and you are moving away from the situation. You will get either some kind of money or something, some kind of justice here with this. Aries, wow. Sorry it seems such a heavy reading for you, but please let me know. Please leave comments, like, share, and subscribe. And I do personal readings, so you will find that in the About box on my page. And I'll talk to you later. All right, take care. Hi Leo, how are you? I'm doing things a little differently for the fire signs for this week, and because I added a new deck of cards, the Gustav Klimt, if you have skipped the intro, and they're slightly read a little different. So they're my Clarifier cards right now, and I love them. They're so beautiful. But it is a 6-card spread. It won't resonate with everybody, but it should if you're here, so that's good. And go check out the monthlies. They're much longer, much more elaborate. I am doing readings these days as well, personal readings. You can find all about that in the About section in on my page. So let's get into it. I've already laid out the cards for you, and your overall energy, and someone just got this too, is actually Sagittarius got this, so you may want to check into Sagittarius as well. This is your overall energy is the Ace of Swords, which is a beautiful, beautiful energy. It's about communication, about new beginnings, about victory, about truth and justice. So lovely to see, truth and justice. New ideas, new beginnings. It's just a lovely card to have for the overall energy of the 16th to the 23rd, by the way, for my dear Leos. So on the top deck, we have the 3 of Wands, which is all about you've made a decision, you're watching the expansion of that decision go forward. You have a 6 of Cups, which is all about nostalgia, or just sort of being, just copacetic. Everything's good. So you have the 8 of Cups, which is moving away from something. We have the Strength card, which is, again, another Leo card, and the Strength card is, I think, self-explanatory. We have the Knave of Wands, which is about inspiration, bringing forth inspiration, creativity, moving forward. This could be somebody or yourself with new inspiration going forward on something. You have the 7 of Cups, which could be illusion or delusion, It could be smoke screens, but it can also mean that you have so many choices that you need to pick something. You know, you have so many choices in front of you. So let's look at the clarifiers here as well. For the Three of Wands here, you have the King of Wands, who is all about generosity again, and about creativity and inspiration, and he is about this generosity, and it's a great, you know, card to have, especially under the expansion, because it's moving, things are moving forward into this realm. So beautiful to have there. The Six of Cups in nostalgia, you have underneath here the Two of Pentacles, which is about balance and new discoveries. So could have been thinking a little bit in the past about balancing things. You have the Fool underneath the chalice, which can mean anxiety or confusion. So, which is a little bit different than most decks for the Fool. If he's upright, you may have had some confusion. That's what you're walking away from here, this confusion or anxiety. The Strength card is right below the 10 card, which is, the 10 of Cups is usually about love and joy and everything else. But in the reverse, it is kind of on the lack. And let me just look at the thing here for this particular one to make sure I get this right for you guys, because again, this is a new deck. So do be patient with me if you don't mind. So the 10 of Cups, again, in the reverse, ingratitude, psychological problems, suffering, doubt, and loss of an identity. So yeah, I think, especially Leos, I think there's been a lot of suffering and doubt going on, and this is why the Strength card is here, because you have the strength to get through this. You have the strength to get through all this doubt and suffering. The Knave of Wands is coming forward with inspiration, but you have a little bit of anxiety here about that, because we have the Three of Wands in reverse here, which is interesting because, again, wands are a little different in this one. So you have a little bit of anxiety about going forward, perhaps this new idea that you have. And of course we have the Seven of Cups, and below that we have the Seven of Swords. And usually the Seven of Swords is about people trying to get away with something, but with this Klimt deck, it doesn't mean that. And I'll let you clue you into it. So the Seven of Swords upright for the Klimt deck is revealing of secrets, discoveries, decisive ideas. So it looks like you have lots of choices here, that you're going to have to make a choice about something, but I think you're going to make the right choice. Like you're gonna make the right choice. This is a decision card, and you're gonna make the right decision. You're a little bit, you may be a little anxious about this new thing going forward, hence the Page of Wands. You're a little anxiety about it, about making this decision. You have the strength to get through this. Whatever that has been going on in your life, and I know I've been going through a lot myself because I'm also a Leo, is that the decisions that you make will expand. This decision here that you make will go forward, will become the King of Wands, the generous person that you want to be, and who has all this abundance. This is where you're headed to. You have to, of course, balance. Again, you may have been thinking in the past, maybe regrets a little bit, but you need to balance your energies. You need to move away from this anxiety, and you have the strength to overcome this disappointment. So, because right now you have this victory card, and you have these new beginnings. Leo, I think this is beautiful energy. Whatever's been plaguing you or going on in your life, you are moving away. Be patient about it, but you are moving away from it. I'm just doing a couple clarifiers. I'm liking the way this reading is going, because decisions are made, and we're moving away from things that just no longer serving, from anxiety. Two of Cups, Queen of Chalices, and Ace of Wands. Yeah, you have new beginnings. So it is about making logical decisions, because you have the Queen of Cups here. She's about having your emotions contained, about balance. And when we have balance, we can make logical decisions. Again, the decision that you need to make. And going back to yourself, this could be making the decision here about deal. The Two of Cups is also about making a decision. It's also about balance. and it could be also making a deal. So, but you need to do that rationally, hence the Queen of Cups. Because you have a new beginning here again, 2 new beginnings. This is inspiration, creativity, going forward. This is beautiful. You have these beautiful energies going forward. Leo, I love this reading. I hope whatever is in your life right now is way out on its exit. I do feel that it is, and this is a beautiful reading. I hope you enjoyed the new cards as well, a little bit of the new format as we're experimenting. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, I am doing personal readings, and I'll talk to you later. All right, baby. Ciao.